The 4 signs of a rotten person, a deep look at a destructive personality. There are people in this world who seem to carry a storm inside them, a constant whirlwind of negativity, bitterness, and contempt. They are not simply having a bad day, nor are they struggling with momentary frustration. They radiate a kind of consistent toxicity that leaves a trail of emotional damage in their wake. These individuals often wear a mask of normalcy, but underneath it lies a deeply corroded soul. There are 4 key signs that reveal such a person, 4 traits that, when combined, expose a rotten personality. 1. Anger is their natural state. The first and most obvious sign is a chronic, simmering anger. It's not the kind of righteous anger we feel in the face of injustice or betrayal. No, this anger is existential, unfocused, restless, and all-consuming. This person is angry at everyone and everything, people, systems, strangers, loved ones, life itself. And the strange part is, they don't necessarily express this anger with shouting or aggression. Often, it seethes just below the surface, infecting every word they say, every gesture they make. They live their life as if anger is a purpose, like it's their engine, their source of meaning. It becomes their identity. They don't just feel anger, they are anger. You'll notice it in their expressions, in the way they respond to simple questions, how quickly they find offense in neutral situations. Their conversations are filled with judgment, accusations, and a sense that the world owes them something. And the most dangerous part? They don't want to heal. They don't seek peace, they feed on the fire. 2. They are emotional vampires. The second sign is more subtle but even more damaging. A rotten person thrives on the emotional turmoil of others. Like a vampire, they drain people, not of blood, but of energy, peace, and joy. They provoke, manipulate, and stir up negative emotions, fear, guilt, shame, outrage, sadness. And the more intense your reaction, the more alive they feel. If you've ever felt unusually drained after talking to someone, as if your spirit had been sucked out of you, you've likely encountered this type of person. What's chilling is that they do this deliberately. They push buttons. They bring up painful topics. They twist your words. They pretend to be victims to make you feel like the aggressor. All of this is done to stir emotional chaos, because it gives them a sense of control. In your suffering, they find satisfaction. It's not just passive cruelty, it's intentional emotional harvesting. 3. Gloating and malice masquerading as humor. The third trait of a rotten soul is their love for gloating, the twisted joy they find in the failure, humiliation, or pain of others. But they rarely express it openly. Instead, they disguise it as humor. Their jokes often come with a sting. Their laughter has an aftertaste of cruelty. They mock people behind their backs, point out flaws in public, and take pleasure in embarrassing others. But if you confront them, they'll shrug and say, "I was just joking." Can't you take a joke? This is calculated humiliation. These jokes are weapons, not attempts to bond. They use sarcasm as a shield and cruelty as entertainment. And perhaps most disturbingly, they genuinely believe they are smarter, superior, or more real than everyone else. Gloating is their way of asserting dominance, not just socially, but morally. They want you to know they saw your failure, and they want you to know they enjoyed it. 4. They poison everything they touch. The fourth and final sign is perhaps the most comprehensive. Wherever they go, they leave a trail of poison. Relationships break down. Conflicts escalate. Groups become divided. Teams fall apart. And yet, they always play the victim, claiming that everyone else is the problem. Their presence brings unrest, gossip, betrayal, resentment. They don't build, they corrode. They are incapable of genuine empathy, and they see the vulnerabilities of others not as sacred, but as opportunities. They destroy trust with rumors. They erode motivation by mocking dreams. They turn allies against each other with carefully placed words. Over time, they become the center of every storm. But the most terrifying part? They often do all of this with a smile, calm, polite, reasonable. On the surface, they may seem charming. But underneath, they are decay in human form. A final word. Recognizing these 4 signs, chronic anger, emotional vampirism, malicious humor, and the spread of poison, is essential for protecting your peace. Rotten people do not always look dangerous at first glance. But the impact they have on others is real and lasting. They don't want harmony, they want drama. They don't want connection, they want control. It's not your job to fix them, and most of the time, you can't. Your responsibility is to set boundaries, guard your emotional energy, and surround yourself with people who build rather than destroy. Because while one rotten person can damage many lives, one wise person, calm, grounded, and whole, can heal, inspire, and transform everything they touch.